All right, and I'm going to go ahead and run through these few problems here. There's only three of them to get a grasp on what we're trying to cover here. And I believe this is 4.3 graphs or characteristics of linear functions. There we go. All right. So I got the questions printed out here in front of me on paper, and let's jump into them. So our first one really is just asking for minimums and maximums. We could find this for both y values or x values. Our y values go up and down here on the graph, and for a y max value, really we're just looking for what's the maximum um, y output here, and we can see that that would be a y equals 3. And if you wrote that as a point, I'm not sure, going back, I guess I could bring that up, see if they want you to input that as a point here. Um, no, you just need to go ahead and type that right in. So not bad. All right, so that was max, right? No, yeah, maximum first, and I think they want the minimum. And so the minimum, you would go on down, check that out, write down what the minimum is there. And I don't know if there's really much else for our first question here. And like we said before, you could solve for x, your x minimum and maximum values as well. So this would be our range minimum and maximum values, where our x value could also be called the domain, and our x um, minimum value here is 1, and the maximum is 4. But anyhow, let's get into the next question. All right. Use the information and let's figure it out. So find the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is when x equals 0. So I'm going to take my equation over here, which I really, the function, that's our function output, which usually is y, but I'm going to put y there for the sake of whatever. And 2/3, and the x is going to be 0 here. So really that's going to 0 out, and I'll be left with y equals -6. And bingo, we'll drop that in there. And the other part of this, I believe they want you guys to find out the actual x-intercept. Let's go over to the second problem here. And the x-intercept. So they say find the 0 of when the output is 0. Find the 0 of g of x. So what that looks like is really I'm going to take the same equation, and instead of the x value being zeroed, I'm going to have the output be zeroed here. So 0 equals 2/3 x minus 6. And I'll solve for x this time. So we get x equals 9, and how to input that in the other equation or the other field. You got to put uh, type in there is 90 as the output. The input was 9, the output is 0 for when that other end of the coordinates is zeroed out. And let's get into our last one here. Number 3 here. This does look ugly, but it's really not that bad. Um, Come on, camera. There we go. So you really need to rewrite this stuff down because it looks like a bunch of hoggish poggish, like confusing stuff here. But really, we have our y equals statement here, or our function statement is just that there. Y equals -half x plus 12. And what they want you to do is find the minimum and maximum values of y. You're going to, 1, input that, 2, solve for it. I'm not going to do this part for you. You're going to have to solve on your own. But whatever you get, that's either going to be your minimum or maximum. Sometimes they get kind of flipped around depending on your negative sign. So you might have to solve both of them first, and then you'll set up that same equation. But instead of substituting the 2, you guessed it,